back to this workshop. My name is Savvy, and today I will teach you how you can feminize or masculinize your voice or make it sound androgynous. Really, whatever voice goals you have, I have some methodology, some theory, and some tools to provide to you so that you can have the best time working with your voice. Now, with that being said, I do need to preface something important. Last time we had an issue with the slides. As you may already know, there is some laws in the UK running around that make it so that certain image providing services do not allow the projection of certain images. And typically, unfortunately, these are currently hosted on such a website. So if you don't see the slides, be sure to check out the live on Twitch stream or on the Trans Academy Discord if you ever don't see the slides, so you can follow along better. We should be fixing this in a little bit. Now, with that said, let's go back to the main blurble of the class. As per usual, if you want to use your voice, make sure to drink water 10 to 15 minutes before doing any voice work. That is because when you drink the water, it does not go directly to hydrate your vocal folds, your vocal cords. It instead will go into your stomach. Thankfully, otherwise it goes down your lungs, so that's not so nice. But the main hydration process will happen through the blood flow. Namely, wait 10 to 15 minutes after drinking, because that is when the water will have the time to eventually hydrate those vocal folds, and then your voice can be ready for a warm-up. Because warm-up is the next step, and we'll be doing some of that in a little bit. I have to make also something clear. Certain medications such as spironolactone or hay fever medications or other substances are known to be dehydrating to the body, and so it does affect the voice as well. So typically do not stop taking any medication that you might have had prescribed to you for any reason, but maybe try to work around it. If you have to take the medication in the morning, prefer doing some voice training in the afternoon or later in the day, so that the main dehydration issue will have mostly subsided. Now, with that being said, of course, smoking, drinking alcohol, drinking coffee, and some dairy products can be, making the voice a little bit harder to use or dehydrate the voice. In the case of dairy products, it's more so making the mucus at the surface of the vocal folds a little bit more thick, but that's beside the point. Just generally, just drink water and you should be fine. All right. With that being said, let's talk a little bit about what a voice is about. So for the new faces in here, what exactly is voice? Well, exactly, I will not give you a definition, but I can give you a very simple model that breaks it down into three main categories. This is the power source filter model, and it aims at breaking the voice down into three distinguishable parts, namely the power, which will be the airflow, how much air we can provide to the voice. Very little air is going to yield a really quiet voice. A lot of air can yield a loud voice. And so that air will move up here, this tube called the trachea, and then reach the larynx. And so within the larynx, there is a lot of things that happen. Namely, this is where you find the vocal folds. You might call them vocal cords. Now, those vocal folds, they open and close several hundred times per second, depending on what kind of pitch you're doing. And so they're the one responsible for creating the source sound. And so it kind of creates like the same sound for everyone, no matter what you do with your tongue, mouth, etc. And it will then move up into this space, this whole vocal tract, as we call it, and the size and shape of the vocal tract is going to really be defining the overall sound that you get from this. So if you hum, you only push the sound through the nose, but it's because you push the sound through the nose that you just get an M or an N or an ng sound. Similarly, if you push it through the mouth, you might have a, e, i, o, u, and all of this is due to the shape, position of the tongue and of the lips. And so altogether, we breathe out air, it sets the vocal fold in motion from bottom to top, and then that sound, which is all pure and unchanged, will then be changed and warped around by the filter, by how small or how big it is. And if you have one thing to take away from this whole class, is more often than not, people focus on pitch, which is in the nature of modifying the behavior of the vocal folds, but more often than not, what is heavily disregarded is the brightness or darkness of the voice. You might have heard the term resonance being thrown around, and this is what it refers to, although it has not the same physical meaning as physical resonance of two bodies vibrating to the same frequency being produced in relationship to a body that has the ability to resonate to that frequency. And here in this case, we'll mostly talk about brightness and darkness, as it's quite literally a perceptual quality that we use. So if you hear a voice like this, it's really bright, and on the same pitch, this voice would be really dark. So basically modifying the size of this pretty much modifies a huge chunk of the perception of gender in someone's voice. But that's all nice and fine and dandy, but what are we really trying to do? We're not trying to push you into a very small box of a hyper-feminine voice or
a hyper-masculine voice, right?
There's a lot of variety on the axis of fem to masc, and so what we actually want to do is to look at what effects we find when testosterone affects the vocal tract, because that is the only biological aspect that really modifies the voice from one DNA to another, I suppose. Although that isn't entirely true, because you might have, all the DNA to be masculine and testosterone might not affect your voice. So it's really different from most people, but in terms of like statistics, we'll tend to find that, yes, of course, assigned male at birth will have a lot more testosterone, more likelihood to have this. And so our goal will be to mimic the effects of testosterone in the case of masculinizing the voice, or to instead reverse engineer the effects of testosterone when it comes to feminizing the voice. And this is pretty much all you need to know. So let's talk about this. Let's pretend I am a teenage boy and I go through puberty. So my voice might start up here. First thing that will happen is that my Adam's apple is going to drop. So my larynx is going to drop, which will create a much bigger space.
Ow! And just like that, I have a much darker, boomier voice already. Well, it's not boomy, it's just really hollow and dark. The second thing that happens due to testosterone exposure is the vibration of the vocal folds, which is otherwise really fast, will end up slowing down. And by slowing down, we hear a much lower pitch being achieved. And the third thing with testosterone is just the same as in the rest of the body. It increases muscle mass, and this in terms of voice translates into a much more textured and a much more boomier type of voice. And so basically, if you want to masculinize your voice, you want to mimic the big size, the lower pitch, and the more dense vocal folds mass. And if you want to feminize your voice, you
basically want to negate all of these effects. And today we'll hopefully go through some of these things so that you can also achieve those same results, no matter what direction that you want to take your voice in. Okay, that took a little bit longer than I wanted, so we'll do a really brief warm up. All right, so what I like to do generally is, once I explain all of this, I did mention that warming up the voice and hydrating the voice is really important. So we're going to try and do some of that warm up together. So please, if you want for this, you can unmute your mics and we can try to do some warm ups together. So what I'll do is I'll go first, showcase a warm up, and then we'll all do this together. Sounds good? All right, let's try this. So I go first on an O sound.
Oh.
Let's try this all together in 3, 2, 1. All right, very good. Let's try a different sound. Let's try the word rap. No, the sound Z as in zoo. I go first. Let's try this together in 3, 2, 1. Okay, very good. And last one is a lip trill. So we just bubble our lips like brrr, very easily. That's a very silly sound, but one that helps us a lot with warming up the voice. All right, I go first. And you can try this all together in 3, 2, 1. All right, very good. Now, with that done, we'll move on to the next part of the workshop. Oh, and before I mention this, I see a lot of new faces. So, what I usually do here is I get two people up on stage who want to feminize their voices, and two people up on stage who want to masculinize their voices. So, yeah. Today I'm going to start with masc voice. So if you want to make your voice more masculine, please jump in place, raise your hand, or use the hand emoji. All right, here, Dr. 427. You've never been on stage before, have you? First time. All right, come up on stage. Come on, come on. Everyone give a big round of applause to Dr. 427. Woo! All
Nobody's
right.
actually
Hello.
clapping for
Welcome.
me.
What's happening? Huh?
Nobody was actually clapping for me.
I was.
Oh,
Look, people are
thanks.
shy with their mics. Also, they're really far away, so if they clap, you can't hear them. That's part of the layout being bigger than usual.
Oh, that's
Um,
okay.
It happens. It's all right. Okay, cool. So, hi. Let me set up some timer so we can do some voice work together. All right. Doctor, very first time in one of these workshops?
Yeah, this is my first time here.
All right. First time that you've done some voice training of your own as well?
Yeah, I mean, I could usually pitch my voice up and down, but most of the time I just end up sounding like this and people make fun of me, you know?
How would that be happening?
I'm not actually sure.
Interesting. Just to be certain, your pronouns are they, them. So you really want to work on making your voice more masculine, correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Have you done any voice acting or some funky, funny voices of your own? Like, I don't know, like the Stitch voice or the Kermit voice or really any cartoon voice you can think of.
No, not really. I just talk to my friends.
All right, that's very good. Well then let's work on making your voice more masculine. I want to hear like a slide from your highest pitch down to your lowest pitch. Can you give that a try?
I'll try, give it a try.
All right. Quite creaky here on the end. All right. Interesting. Let's see. Can you just try and mimic after me here? All right, here. All right, D3. Let's try to go lower.
This is actually as low as I could do.
No, 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 no. Well, no, 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 no. Well, it's interesting because when I hear you speak, you actually do end up going lower. So then, might I ask, have you already like tried using like some apps to like look at where your pitch is at, like in terms of range? Are you familiar with music theory at all?
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, or Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. You know, just like pitches. They're just like a musical convention to communicate between musicians.
Okay, so like they could talk to each other in musical notes?
Well, yeah, you might have some jazz hits that are like, all right, give me the lick in G minor or whatever. Like, it's just, you know, pitches. Let me show you a slide here. Do let me know. Can you see the slide here on the board?
Yeah, I can actually see the piano.
All right, very good. So here, this is just a piano, and you know, pianos are fairly easy. You have octaves, which are going from C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, 8-note octave, so oct for 8. And so each pitch here is just like a small range of hertz, a small range of the speed of vibration of a sound, right? So for example, if I do the pitch A sharp 3, that's 226 hertz, but it could also be 224 or 228. It depends. I don't know these by head, of course. And so this is why I generally recommend to use like musical theory just to like communicate pitches. Because if I say, hey, give me a 217 hertz pitch, you'll have no idea how to hit that exactly. Also, we're not like actually good at like perceiving very small intervals of hertz variations. So musical theory like this does help us like make pitch a bit more easy to comprehend, you know? The same way that like I won't say that there is 1,300,439.99 stars in the universe. I'll say something like there's like a trillion, you know. I'll break it down for the human brain, I guess. So like this is like a more helpful way to look at pitch. And so what you gave me as the lowest pitch here was around here, like a D3. And so, you know, being aware of that allows you to kind of like see and kind of gauge like how your voice evolves over time, right? Like if your mask voice is here, like with like a dark brightness or dark resonance, sorry.
So how
like
did you
a
do that
darker
now? Are you
voice.
using a voice changer?
No, not at all. I'm just using my vocal tract.
That was a pretty cool noise you just made. Could you do that again?
Sure. Hello, Row. So, very simply put, right? Think about it this way. Have you already seen like a guitar versus a ukulele? They are virtually the same instrument, right? They're just string instruments. But the ukulele is much smaller. It's like a little baby instrument. And a guitar is like a huge instrument, right? So when you strum a string on the guitar that plays, I don't know, like a C3, and then you strum the note through the ukulele on the C3 as well, you're going to have a very different texture. Because the body is smaller, you're going to hear a brighter sound come out. So the same way, the way I
Achieve like a darker voice
is by lowering my Adam's apple. Because by lowering my Adam's apple, I achieve
a bigger space.
and hear the pitch, for example, because I use a pitch monitor, right? Like I'm not really, I'm not that good enough with music that I know exactly what pitch I'm using. So on my phone here, oh, like that's an F3 here. And this pitch can both sound,
Oh, really masculine. Or,
oh, really feminine, depending on how you modify the space you have available, right? And so this is something you can also do on your own. So we haven't had the time to exactly do this, and the timer already has ended. But I'll give you this really quickly. So basically, the way we like to darken the voice and achieve a bigger
vocal tract to achieve a darker voice.
and thus make your voice more masculine is by using whispers. Whispers, why? Because when you whisper, your vocal folds are not vibrating. So because they're out of the way, all you hear is
So you want me to try to
effective
whisper?
size. Pretty much, yeah. Can you give me like a pat? Like, pat.
You want me to like whisper something, like a sentence in your ear?
Just like the word pat, like pat.
Okay, I gotta come closer so you can hear. Pat, 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 pat.
I could hear you very well, don't you worry. The stage has amplify. And so you did pat, 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 right? So that's quite bright. Pat, pat, pat. Now, you would want to try to make that darker. So try this. Pa, pa,
Pa, pa, pa. Make it bigger and darker.
try it out.
I want my cheesecake. Yes.
Okay, cheesecake works. But you want to try at least to keep the same sound, right? So you can have pa, or you can have cheesecake, or
Cheesecake.
right? But you have to have the same sound from start to finish as a reference point to notice how your voice moves around. Okay? All right. And
Okay,
with
should,
that,
should we try it then?
sorry, what was that?
Should we try it then?
Unfortunately, the time is over, so I'll let you like try this on your own free time. I do recommend that you use like some software to monitor your pitch, and maybe like use like Audacity to like listen back to your voice, like small snippets of voice, and I'm sure you'll get a more masculine voice in no time. Okay?
Okay, I'm gonna keep watching though.
All right. Do keep watching. All right. Everyone give a big round of applause to Dr. 47. Woo!
See that noise she makes? That means everybody's clapping for me.
All right. Please mute yourselves again, please, so we can have like a quiet class. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. So I've seen your message, so you'll have to check with the people in staff that are on Discord. Right now, I'm just running the class.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
No worries. All right, next up on stage, I want to see someone who wants to work on making their voices more feminine. So if you want to make your voice more feminine, please jump in place, raise your hand. All right, so here, Ray the Emo. Have you already been on stage before?
No, it's my first time actually.
All right, come up on stage.
Like 3 days ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, welcome. Everyone give a big round of applause to Ray the Eno. Woo! I say Eno instead of emo. I am tired. Okay.
It's good.
Welcome on stage. Hi. All right.
Hi.
All right, we've got 6 minutes starting now. All right, so I already hear some quite feminizing effects to your voice. That's very nice. So you're not
Yeah.
foreign to voice training, are you?
I've started learning like 2 years ago. That's the normal voice when I don't really put effort, but like this is the regular one from like that I've started changing like 2
Yeah.
years into like that, and that's like the more natural zone. And then when I really
Right.
feel like pushing it, I could go like that.
That's really good. That's very good. That's actually a really solid start. You said how
It's
much
just
time?
that, like-
3 weeks? Or
No, actually about 2 years on my own, no teacher, no nothing, just the internet, and yeah,
I was going to say 3 weeks for this result is really fast. Okay, that's very
2
good.
years, not weeks.
2 years. That's what I said.
Yeah.
It's like I thought it was weeks, and I'm like, no, that can't be it. That's really good for 3 weeks. But yeah, 2 years. That's also really good. Okay, so with that being said, you're familiar with the terminology like vocal tract size, brighter, darker. Are you familiar with
Yeah.
like pitch in general? All right, all
Yeah,
good.
but like I haven't fully tracked it. Like when looking at my voice, I mostly have gone with the feeling and noticing others feel, but like not. It's more intuitive and feeling the actual muscles and the way they feel in the voice vibrating and not the theory
Right.
specifically.
Let's try to read a little bit of text and see how your voice evolves over these words. Okay,
Okay.
can you please... Oh, yes.
The quest to lens. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so then here, what I want you to do is just try to give this a read with your current voice. Just like, do it normally.
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
All right, let's go. So, hello, good morning. How are you? All right, interesting. So it's a bit low in pitch. It's already a bit intonated. Like it's not like a hello, good morning. How are you? Like it's not flat, not monotonous. So there's already a bit of intonation. Maybe you could have
English
a
isn't
bit
my
more
first
intonation.
language.
That's okay.
I
It's
could-
not my first language either.
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
So you're careful. Hello, good morning. It's a bit dark here on morning. So try to make it more morning. Try it out.
Good morning. How are you?
Careful here again. Hello, good morning. I think what
Oh,
happens
you
is
want to go
because you
down?
no, you did go down in pitch a little bit, so you went hello, good morning, right? So as you went down in pitch, right, there was a higher likelihood that you would revert to, well, your masc voice or your starting voice, I suppose. And so as you go lower in pitch, there's a greater chance that your vocal tract does go bigger. And so good morning. So we have to look at two things. What pitch is this? And how bright or how dark are we here? So here in that case, hello, good mo. We're like around a C3 or a D3. So let's try to do the same pitch here. Match after me. Oh. 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 Slightly lower. Oh. Down. Yes. And this is where it's interesting, right? I could tell you didn't want to go lower in pitch. Oh.
Yeah, I could go. I
right?
could go to 100 hertz. I could do
Yes.
that. Like.
Yes, you could. Absolutely. But the reason for why you didn't do this is because you don't like these pitches, right? They don't
Yeah,
sound as
but-
feminine as your higher pitches. And so my
It's
point
not
here
about
is
femininity. It's just not me.
no, there is the part that's not you, but like think about it this way, right? Like you
Yeah.
can choose to have like a femme voice that's really high up in pitch if you wanted to, or you can choose to have a femme voice that's like really low in pitch, like maybe like a more mature kind of voice, like lower, chiller down there, right?
Yeah.
That's up to you. All I'm saying is when you were reading hello, good morning, you went to a lower pitch, one that had your vocal tract go bigger, and so your voice became darker as a result. So what I tried to have you do is go to a lower pitch and then work on making that low, that low pitch brighter to make it a part of your voice and just make everything sound coherently bright.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
Like, good morning. Like that?
Mhm.
Ish.
Good morning. Well, this time you were higher in pitch than the first attempt you had.
Yeah,
so that
because
works
I'm not
too.
trying to use my natural voice. I'm trying to use the feminized, not the one that feels intuitive to me, like not without
Interesting.
effort.
So
Because you
you would
said use the normal voice, not use
Oh,
the
okay, sorry.
feminized voice.
There
That's why
has
it
been a
confused me for a bit.
your natural voice did not sound close at all to like your masc voice. So I was like, what? You know, it actually sounded very feminine already. So, hello, good morning, how are you? Okay.
It's
So
just that I've worked on the weight on it because I felt like the weight was intimidating.
that's okay. It's all right. I understand that. So then, with your most feminized voice, which also begs the question, like you say, this is not your natural voice, but you've been practicing this for 2 years. So
Like it feels natural, but like I haven't been practicing 24/7, and it's not natural. It's like I use it
You don't use
naturally
it.
24/7. But like if I want to put effort, like it's
Right.
a small shift, a small toggle in mind.
Right. That's very good. So then, with your like best effort, could you try and read the whole paragraph?
Yeah. Hello.
Right. Give it a try.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
I'll have a cup of tea, please. Ah, I forgot
Fair
to take
enough.
my homework.
This one is real.
Are you sure about that? I think I have a craving for. I'm sorry, I can't read it seriously.
Is that too much? I think I have a
It's
craving
so
for.
coded. I think I'll be done here.
It's an old slide. Okay, that's fine. But I don't have much to say to you. Like your voice is really femme. Like when you do put the effort in, when you're focusing on making it sound femme, you do make it sound femme. My one thing I would like the one thing I'm gonna say is maybe watch out for the lower pitches. Like ask yourself the question: do you want a wide, well-intonated voice with like that sounds really natural because you can move really high up or really very low, depending on the mood, the emotion you want to convey, the setting.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the plan. So then in that case, you shouldn't hide away from the lower pitches. They are also a part of your voice. You might notice it, my voice is feminine, but it is not like extremely high in pitch. Like it could be higher in pitch, but like I vibe a lot better at these lower pitches. This feels more like me.
I actually like that middle one better.
The lower one?
Yeah, I like the middle one better.
All right, then there you go. So like it depends on the person, and it depends on yourself, who you are, and what you want to do. So yeah. All right. With that, maybe work on like using the lower pitches of your range, or maybe try to like go for higher and higher pitches. Try to work those into your voice to have a wider and more expressive range. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Everyone give a big round of applause to Ray the emo. You killed it. Woo!
Thanks.
All right. Next up on stage, I'll have someone who wants to make their voices sound more masculine. So if you want to make your voice more masc, please raise your hand, jump in place, or use the hand emoji. All right. Well, you already went, Doctor, so I'm sorry. Okay, Wumbo Jumbo, come up on stage. All right. Hello there. Welcome. Hi.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Are you ready to get started?
I am.
All right, let's go. So 6 minutes starting now. Wumbo Jumbo, you want to make your voice more masculine, yes?
Yes.
All right. Have you already done some voice training prior to this?
No, I haven't.
Okay, are you familiar with the concepts of brightness, darkness, of pitch, of vocal fold mass, or not at all?
I don't know about like pitch, I know, but that's about it.
Okay, that's just fine. All right. So, let's do some mass voice. All right. So, what I want you to do is to give me a slide from your highest pitch down to your lowest pitch. Give it a try.
Okay. What do I say? Like, ah.
Like an A or an O sound. Yeah, that works. Ah. So what's the lowest pitch for another one? Oh, that's like an F3. That's quite good. Okay. Oh, and then you kind of go really quick on the end there. Oh, ooh, well, that's a bit higher, but it was darker, so I got tricked here. Okay, quite good. We have something to work with. Okay, and then we'll do some darkening of your voice. So I want you to say the whisper. Don't say the whisper. I want you to say on a whisper the sentence, pat that cat. So it's going to sound like this. Pat that cat.
Okay. Should I do it with like a lower pitch? Or just
Technically,
regular?
when you whisper, there's no pitch per se. But if you have to aim for something, try to go for a higher sound. Pat that cat first.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you might want to change your noise suppression settings because your whisper is getting filtered out.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, go to your mic settings, make sure that noise suppression is turned off, and make sure that the mic activation threshold is down to 0%.
Okay.
All right, let's try this again. Pat
Okay.
that cat.
All right.
All right, and now try this. Pat, pat,
Pat, pat, pat, pat, that cat.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay, no worries.
Pa, 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 pa.
Now try to go back to that lower one. Well, the one before you and just died, but like
Pa, 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 pa.
the one
Don't throw
before
up, though.
last, and then try to keep it there. Yeah, and then try to say
Pat that cat.
God.
okay.
Pat that cat.
Very good. On a dark whisper. Okay? That's very good. I know it's going to be stressful, but you're doing great. And so,
Thank you.
I want you to do something very simple. Take your hand in real life and just put it on your neck. Don't press down, just like in a way to monitor where your Adam's apple is. Okay?
Okay.
So, the goal here will be to do the pat, pat,
Pat, pat, pat.
from bright to dark again, but I want you to like feel how your Adam's apple moves there. Okay? So try it
Okay.
again.
Pa, pa, pat.
Very good. How did it move?
I don't. I'm like
All right.
feeling it, but I don't know. I guess like. I don't know. I felt like it went in.
It went in. Interesting. Well, chances are it did go down and then it kind of like went a little bit into your neck. Depends on like how you're positioned. Like if you're like leaning forward, it might have gone in, quote unquote. But the larynx can only move like on the up to like up down axis.
I
Yes.
thought those don't have an Adam's apple.
Well, that's an interesting question. They're not Adam's apples. They're technically, they're technically like the laryngeal cartilage, but that's a mouthful, right? So I just say Adam's apple. It should be Eve's apple, I guess, but then that genders it. So, call it a larynx. That's what I would call it. So your larynx goes pa, 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 lower, and so you achieve a darker sound as a result. Now the goal is to
Pa, 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 pa. Keep that dark sound.
and then try to go back to a pitch. So
Pa.
connect the vocal folds again.
To achieve a dark sound.
Okay, give it a try.
Okay. Is this good?
Okay,
All right, yeah, that's pretty good actually.
it's a bit high in pitch, I won't lie.
But That's already like quite dark, right? Like you're really far away from
From like that really bright voice, which is exactly the same pitch you did. So
you having like this darker sound.
is actually a really good tell that you're getting this correctly. Okay, very good. And then from here, let's go for a different slide here. Okay, has the slide loaded for you?
Yeah.
All right, very good. So now from here, what I want you to do is say pat, pat, pat. Keep the larynx low, and then close the vocal folds from the whisper into a breathy sound, into a full sound,
Oh,
and then try to say,
that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
try that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Step one was I'm sorry. Step one. Can you go slower for me?
Good. And now,
Pat, that mad brat.
Okay.
very good. Yeah. All right, very good. And now the goal is to not let it trail back up, right? If you hear this happen,
That mad brat sat on that
flat mat, you went basically back to a higher larynx, right? So you go back to a brighter voice. Now you've done this really well. And now what I want you to do here is to close the vocal folds on the ah sound. So when you whisper, the vocal folds are open. They don't vibrate. This is why I say it's not a pitch, because pitch requires the vocal folds to vibrate. Now from that dark whisper,
Oh, pat that cat.
try to go for the lowest comfortable pitch while to keep that really dark sound. Give it a try.
Okay. The
Yeah.
brat sat on that flat mat.
So this is interesting because you did this.
Oh, that mad brat
Sat on that flat mat. So you kind of went smaller and brighter as the sentence went on, but the start was really dark. So basically, this is where like I like to use the hand because if, well, again, like your Adam's apple, blah, your larynx might be more or less prominent due to testosterone exposure or the lack thereof. And so you might have a harder time than me, who has had like testosterone course through my veins for like
20 years of my life.
So, like, of course, there might be some biological limitations. You might not go as low as someone who's had, like, a ton of testosterone, right? But you already see that with behavior, you're already achieving, like, quite a result. You went from, you know, like, kind of like a chill voice up there
To like quite a dark sound.
and then, you know, you spoke it and it kind of trailed black brighter. But the start was really promising, okay? So, what you have to do now is just practice this on your own. And this also goes for you if you want to practice this. So, yeah,
Can I do it out loud?
you can do this out loud on your own. Yes. All right. So, that is it for today. So, I hope this was helpful to you, Wumbo Jumbo. I want to give a big round of applause to Wumbo Jumbo. Woo!
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I can tell you're really passionate. Like, thank you.
Thank you. All right. And last but not least, up on stage, I want to see someone who wants to make their voices more feminine. All right, so let's see. Someone from there. Captain Shrimps. Have you already been on stage before? All right, come on. Coming up. All right, everyone give a big round of applause to Captain Shrimps. Woo! All right, hello, hi. All right. This is Jess's avatar, isn't it? Or at least the old one. I don't know if it's
I don't know.
hers
I
or if it's just like a
haven't seen it
Canadian
yet.
fox. It's just a Canadian fox, probably. Don't worry. It's just she used to have it, so. All right, cool. Let's get started. 6 minutes starting from now. All right, Captain Shrimps. First time ever in one of these workshops?
I've like hung around in the audience a couple times before, but like I haven't been on stage before.
All right, very good. So you're familiar with the concepts of voice feminization, or you're at least familiar with like brightness,
Darkness.
with pitch,
Yeah,
high notes.
I've done a good amount of studying on my own.
All right, very good. So, I already hear a lot of feminization in your voice. So I guess my question is, because you're already familiar with the theory, how about you just let me know, yeah, what do you want to do with your voice today?
Okay, so here's the thing. I work in education, and I have to like use my voice like a lot, like in class.
Sorry, what did you say?
And in class I have to like project my voice like loudly.
Oh, I was
to,
just
like,
trying
be
to get a
heard.
better view.
And when I try to like be loud, especially like over the course of like a lesson, I feel like my
Okay, can I go
like
on
my
a
voice
further
kind
back?
of like gets undone almost. Like the vocal weight especially starts getting like heavier and stuff.
Interesting. It's like as you speak for a
Okay,
long
okay.
period of times, like your voice kind of eventually like goes back to something a little bit heavier, a little bit thicker, kind of like it's getting back to like closer to like a more masculine voice that tends to have more weight to it.
Yeah, for me mostly I think it's like the weight. Like I can't maintain a lighter weight, like especially with a louder volume and with a longer duration.
So you would say that projecting your voice and being louder in that way is more difficult for you, right?
Yes.
All right. Then in that case, we'll try and practice some methods to make your voice louder without making it too buzzy and without adding too much vocal weight back in. So first of all, we need to talk about vocal weight and what it entails. I have the perfect graph for this, so just a second. All right, cool. So what is vocal weight? If we look at the vocal folds, they can be either in a thin or a thick configuration. Now, of course, we're not shaving off parts of the vocal folds, like it's grated cheese. No, we actually just relax the muscles of our voice to achieve a really thin and soft voice, or a really thick and heavy voice, right? And so, for most of the time, we tend to kind of like use heavier sounds for lower pitches and lighter sounds for higher pitches. But that is not entirely true for everyone, and everyone has their own voices. And depending on, for example, how much air you use, you might be more tempted to go heavier or light. Now, this is more a symptom and a form of mistake that can happen in voice, not so much like the one guideline of how to fix vocal weight. Of course, what I'm going to say is going to apply, for example, to you, but might not apply for everyone. So all I want to say is, so far, your voice is really soft, from what I hear. So far, so good. But you're not exactly speaking like extremely quiet, like with the really like most thin voice you could do, right? There's already some mass to your voice. There's some heaviness to your voice, right? Like even the voice you currently have. What matters is that it's balanced with the vocal tract size you have. That means that if your vocal tract is really small and you push a really thick sound through it, you're going to hear the extra frequencies spill out as if they're not absorbed by your vocal tract. It's really hard to be thick with like a really big vocal tract because you actually, well, you can be thick, but it will not sound buzzy. You actually don't hear thinness or thickness. You hear the buzziness that results from it. So when you go louder, you do one thing. You probably push a lot more air, but as you do, your vocal folds are like, okay, now I have more air, but how do I
So how come are
vibrate
you
with that
standing so
extra
close to
air,
the stage?
right? So
Right.
what you want to do here is
Oh,
what you
you're on
want to do
Twitch
here
right now?
with the heavy or the thick sound is to look at. All right, wait, give me a second. What's happening over here?
Oh, sorry, can you hear us?
Okay. All right,
Sorry,
let's
I
go.
didn't know you said to
So,
hear
sorry,
us.
Captain Shrimps. Let's resume. So, as you want to project your voice more, you might go heavier. Your goal is to go louder without going heavier. Now, there is some limits to this because, of course, if you make your voice louder, there's going to be a limit that you're going to hit where you eventually have to go thicker, or where you can go thicker, but will make your vocal tract a little bit bigger, right? Think of like opera singers, you know? Like if they go like, oh,
Figaro, Figaro, Figaro.
Right? Like they will have a really wide vocal tract because that allows them to push their voice more easily. There's a bigger space, like a bigger playground, if you will, for your vocal rate. So, with that said, let's look at some sentences that we can try to use and practice with. So here, I want you just to say the sentence, that mad brat sat on that flat mat, monotonously at first, and with your current voice.
Sure, so just not like loudly, just in a normal volume.
Well, your voice would be a normal volume, I would say.
Okay, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Good, so you have, that mad brat sat on a flat mat. Now there's something interesting here. I hear creak in your voice, right? That mad brat sat on a flat mat. Creak is generally a tell that your vocal folds are vibrating with too little air, right? It's not the end of the world to have creak. I have it in my voice too. Like, for example, at the end of sentences, when my voice stops, or like at the lower pitches of my voice, because as I go to lower pitches, they require a lot less air to vibrate. So I kind of tend to like do that also as a texture and as a kind of, yeah, like as a texture choice with voice. And so far, what you can take from this is that your vocal folds are properly closed, right? You have that mad brat sat on a flat mat. So they're already primed for more air. So what I want you to do then from here is to just gently, that mad brat, the, try to push it louder and see how it evolves. That's interesting. So what happens here is you go to a higher pitch almost automatically. So that's also another way you can be louder. Our ears are not perfect microphones. So if you think about it this way, right? Like our ears tend to pick up higher frequencies much more easily than they pick up lower frequencies. And with that knowledge, we can basically use higher pitches to sound louder when we are virtually not that much louder. We just tend to, make the ears vibrate a little bit more easier with those higher pitches. Now, for why this happens, we don't know. It might be like some evolutionary trait, like maybe some kind of thing like where we have to save the baby in the jungle as a monkey or whatever. But at least we do know that higher pitches tend to sound louder than what they actually are. So you can go for higher pitches. Okay, this is a little bit more difficult to explain like in such a short time span, like the loudness generally. But what you want to do is work with your breath and work with the closure of your vocal folds whilst keeping in mind the thickness of the vocal folds. So it's 3 variables that you have to juggle with. Typically, if you start like on a soft voice, you can push your vocal folds closer, which is going to create more closure. And then you're going to have creak, which is like the bubbles of air passing through, but that means the vocal folds are too closed. Now with those vocal folds that are too closed, you can then provide more air from below and have a louder but still thinner voice. That's because you're juggling with closure and with airflow. If you had like, and you added more air, you could have like a breathy sound happen, which is what happens when the air pushes the vocal folds out of the way. But you don't do this. You said you go buzzier, you go heavier. So basically, it's your vocal folds are just trying to deal with the amount of air you're providing to them. You breathe out more air and like they go thicker because thicker vocal folds tend to hold air more easily back. So it's just like about retraining your voice to be able to add closure, add airflow, add closure, add airflow, and kind of go back and forth, whilst not making your voice more tense. So the end goal is loud but relaxed voice, in a sense. Okay? And I'm sorry I couldn't I'm sorry I can like make it more precise. It's a bit jumbly, but we only have so much time. So I hope that at least that is something that you can like pursue and work on. What I would recommend is I have like a little slide here. You can take a look at this. This is like the vocal fold closure diagram. And so what this allows us to see is that we can move between whisper states or creaky states of the voice. And so this state is one where the vocal folds are really open. This is a state when they're completely closed. And in between, and back and forth. Right? And so you can try and play around with that. And as long as you hit creak, you know that you're staying with thinner vocal folds. Because if you have thicker vocal folds, then you get this instead. It's not exactly creak. We call this pressed phonation because the vocals are like really closed, but they're too thick to allow air to simply bubble past them. So they kind of just like have some friction happen. Right? It's kind of like this sound that you do when you like do a really hard effort, for example. But yes, so these are some avenues for you to work on your voice. I hope this helps you out, Captain Shrimps. All right,
thank you
any
so
questions
much.
before we wrap up? Oh.
I think that was helpful. I will definitely keep your advice in mind and practice some more. Thanks a lot
All right.
for your time.
You're very welcome. Everyone give a big round of applause to Captain Shrimps. Woo! All right, that was really solid. Okay, so we are about to finish this workshop. So, do we have any questions from the Twitch stream or from the Discord? All right, thank you, Rory. What about you?
No Discord questions at this time.
All right, no Discord questions at this time. I remember seeing a Jaguar here ask a question, but I missed it because I was kind of focused on other stuff. Do you want to ask a question now? Oh, it's a text question. Okay. Your mic is broken. Okay, well, all right. Maybe you have a question beside that. If not, I'll take some questions from the audience. So I'll take like 1 or 2 questions and then I'll be wrapping up. So if you want to ask a question, please come closer to the stage, come close to the board of the stage, and I'll be sure to hear you out. All right. Oh, that's a lot of people. Okay. 2 people. All right. I'm going to take the new faces mostly. Ame, Kumo, and Amethyst. You've been around the workshops already, haven't you? No. I don't know. Maybe? No? Okay. So I'm going to take Ame, Kumo, and Amethyst. Come closer. Come closer. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy.
Oh no, I just hear the voices or the question. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No worries. No worries. Okay. All right. Amethyst. Yes. What's your question about?
I hate my voice. I'm trying to figure out how to make it more feminine. This is the first time that I've actually been able to attend any of the workshops or anything like that because I only joined the Discord like a week ago, and Cherry told me to that this one was happening. What do I need to do or practice or whatever before the next one?
I don't know. Like, to me, your voice sounds just fine. What I would say is ask yourselves these questions. Do you not like your voice because it's not feminine? Or do you not like it because it doesn't fit a standard that you have? Like, really ask yourself the question, what is a femme voice? What is a masc voice, right? Like, it might depend a lot on culture and what part of the world you're in. Like, it's really interesting, right? Like, we have like all these different gradients we can work alongside. You can either have a really high-pitched femme voice, or you can have a really low-pitched femme voice. You can have a really thick femme voice, like it gives more like nerdy vibes, but I guess it still stays femme. Maybe it kind of borders cartoonish, or you can have like an extremely soft femme voice. I guess this borders almost like more like ASMR, kind of, you know? And, you know, like, ask yourself these questions, and then eventually maybe you just realize that, hey, yes, you might have to do some work on your voice so that you feel happy with it, but maybe that work is more something about like expanding your range or sounding softer or, you know, achieving a goal like this.
Expanding range.
Expanding range. Well, then in that case, what I would recommend is like use a pitch tracking app first and foremost, so you can like monitor where your range is at, and then from there you can like start to move your range higher and higher over time. I would first recommend that you at least do some warm-ups of these pitches before anything. So like typically what I like to do is like the softies that I did at the very start. So for example, if you want to speak up here, you might want to for a little bit to provide some warm up to your voice and not like, you know, shock it into a high pitch directly, you know? So that would be my recommendation. It's not just a lip trill, by the way. It could very much be like a Z sound or a V sound or an O sound. There's like a lot of ways that this could be done. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Coffee Beans, do you also have a question? Yep. All right, come closer. Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to ask because, I mean, not to go with the whole like stereotype and also like with my name and stuff, but a lot of trans people we really like our caffeine. So
fair enough.
Something I've been wanting to know is like I've heard that like the usual thing, like if you have caffeine, the latest that you should have caffeine before you like go to bed is like 6 hours before you go to bed. So like if you go to bed at like 10 p.m., you stop having caffeine at 4 p.m. Does that sort of like time frame work in the similar sense of when it's more safe, I guess, to start vocal training? So like maybe you wait like 4 to 6 hours after the last time you've had caffeine, and then you like drink a lot of water within that time, and then you start vocal training. Like, is that good? Like when basically like when is a good window to do that if you drink caffeine?
I would say this is something I have not studied. Like this is very specific. I guess like the same like way that you're like ask yourself like, hey, I drank alcohol last night. Can I take the wheel and drive my car now in the morning? You know, probably not, because the alcohol hasn't been fully eliminated. Now, is the dehydration, like there's a difference between like, is like the wakefulness effect or the dehydration effect like exactly on par in terms of like how it stays bioavailable? I do not know that much. Maybe you can like look up online like the half-life. I don't know if that's the name for it, but like that's more like nuclear stuff. But like, what's the life of coffee in your system? I would say most of the time you're fine to drink coffee before voice work. I know, crazy. I say everything that's opposed to that, yes, but like, it's not at the end of the world. Like you're not, as long as you don't drink like 4 or 5 coffees. Like I don't know maybe how strong your coffee is, but like I will just say it's more like a guideline. Like if you can avoid coffee, avoid coffee. If you can't, work with it. Just be aware that you will not be able to work as much. So maybe like you can drink coffee, drink water after the coffee at the very least, and then do some practice. But don't expect to do like a whole hour or whole 2 hours, because, well, your body might just want to give up. Like, hey, look, you drink the coffee, you get like a more limited time or more limited capacities of using your voice. So yeah, I guess this would be like interesting to like dig a little bit into like study papers to like look at how the dehydration of coffee, how long it lasts in your body. But I guess like if you do this, you should ask the question for alcohol, for smoking, for medication. Like this is like a big wide question, and I guess it depends on your body and your metabolism as well. So short answer, it's not the end of the world to drink coffee and do voice work. It's preferable not to, but you won't die by doing it. You should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, and I think
All
that's
good?
a good thing to keep in mind is, yeah, like also like trust your own limits. Like if you feel like
Yes,
your voice is
very
starting
much
to
so.
give out, then you can take a break.
Yes, very much so. And everyone should do something similar to this. Like typically, even myself, like as a voice professional, I get times where my voice is just like okay, today is not the day. And I might have to like push a few lessons here and there, or I might have to like not speak during a whole day, you know, like that happens. You know, we sometimes have days off the folds, off the vocal folds. So yeah, that does happen. So yeah, just trust your body and be sure to, you know, listen to it, and you'll have a good time of voice work. Voice work is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Remember that. All right, there you go. Okay, yes, Amethyst? Oh, you're welcome. Yes.
The things that you had on the board, can you put them in the Discord too?
I will not put them in the Discord for different reasons because they're gonna be changing. You can probably find them in the Discord. I mean, like, you're welcome to take a screenshot if you want to. You can already do that.
I don't know how. I only got.
Okay, I don't know how to do screenshots. You can probably ask people around. Is it this slide specifically that you want, or just all of them? Because you can probably find them in voice training. They probably have already been posted by people. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right, and with that, we're gonna be wrapping this one up. Thank you all for showing up today. Also, I didn't mention, but Happy New Year! Welcome to 2026. Wow, that was late and not on tempo at all. But yeah, what's up? Yeah. Oh. Okay, let's do just that one, and then I'll wrap up.
Did I see this one? Weird. Oh yeah.
Caught off guard.
Either way, I got it too. Or no, I see it now, but I can ask it, or... Okay, if it's the one I'm reading correct. If there's still time to ask a question, is there a way to add a more vocal fry without making your voice more masculine?
Yes, absolutely. You can have like a really high-pitched femme voice and have some fry in there if you wanted to. Like, I think the best example of this is like kind of like the stoner girl voice. Like, oh my god, I'm like so high, you know? Like, it still sounds really femme, I guess. I guess like surfer girl? No, that's more like
surfer bro. Like, dude, have you seen the waves? Oh my god.
I don't know. Sabra. Exactly, you get it. And so, with that in mind, creak is not a gendered component. Not at all. Like, you can find creak in femme voices, like here, for example. I mean, you might not want to, like, overdo it either, because, like, too much creak can just, like, break the harmony, like the harmonics of the voice, and, like, you might want to have enough, like, harmonics to convey part of your voice. Like, you don't want it to be, like, just creak, because, you know, like, creak is mostly genderless if you think about it. Like, it's, yeah. So you can very much add creak at higher pitches. What I would recommend is to play exactly on the axis of the vocal fold closure. First, find a high pitch. For example, well, depends on how high your pitch is, but like a G3. Now my voice is unbalanced. I have two ways I can achieve a creaky sound. Either I try to close the vocal folds, like if I do a glottal attack, like and the start part here is the creak. So trying to go towards that will achieve a creak. A more perhaps intuitive way would be to reduce how much air you push. Instead of pushing out as in try to push less air to the point where it actually goes a bit more silent. And so as you do this, if you keep your vocal folds in the same configuration, what's going to happen is that your vocals are going to be mostly closed, but there's not going to be enough air to set them fully in motion, right? So then you can achieve like a more creaky sound from reducing the airflow. Although you want to reduce the air really gently, because if you do it too quickly, you just get your voice just stops. So you do want a little bit, like a little trickle of air, if you will. And there you go. Hope that answers your question. And with that, we'll be wrapping this first workshop of 2026. So thank you all for following today. I hope you learned something new. Yeah, I do these workshops every Sunday. So if you want to have your chance at moving up on stage for the next workshop, you know, be around. Every Sunday at this time is when I do these. There's also Jessa that does her workshops, although she has been busy with studies and stuff like that. But she very much does do classes as well on Tuesdays, if I do remember correctly currently. So yeah, do check this out. So I'm going to do the end of the workshop blurble. Hey everyone, my name is Savvy. I teach voice feminization, voice masculinization. I also teach human beatboxing with sounds such as so if you want to learn any of these freaky weird sounds, you can do so by hitting me up on Discord. You can find me at savvy_sav, all in lowercase. Send me a message if you want to know about my pricing and my scheduling. Yeah, I also have a Discord server called Scientifically Augmented Voice. So you can just click on my bio here in the vrchat, and there's a link to join my Discord server. So you can like post clips for feedback there, or you can participate and shadow some public lessons that I do on Discord only. So if you want to check those out, you can do this as well. All right. Thank you again, of course, V and Rory for helping me co-host this workshop. Thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, I'll be seeing you all in the next workshop on the next Sunday. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you next Sunday. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.